Today we are back in my art area. Well, it's in my room. But still, we're back in my art area with my newly cleaned and decorated background here. And today, it's on my toe. I'm gonna be doing something I've never done before, and that is painting shoes. I'm very excited for this. Well, actually, I've already done it, but the fun, cool thing about this is that it's actually a commission. So someone is paying me to paint their shoes. How this all came to be is I obviously know this person, and she had dropped food onto her white Vans and was like, oh no, I have to clean that stain. And I was like, why don't you paint them? And she really liked that idea. So she's giving me the shoes to paint. And that is this video. And me being me, I didn't film an intro with the blank white shoes. At this moment, I've already painted them and also given them back to her. So, I don't have the shoes. So you'll have to see them in the video. Let us get into painting shoes.
Alright, so they're shoes. Not really much to say about that. They are a size 9 and clearly used, which is fine because we're going to end up painting over the dirt and grime anyways. Like I said before, these are a commission. She gave me different things that she liked and left it pretty open to use my creative juices, which made it a little difficult, but I ended up finding something that worked out. Since cleaning these shoes would be kind of annoying to do on camera, I cleaned them off camera to make my life easier. Alrighty, walking into the frame are the clean shoes. I cleaned the shoes to the best of my ability, and now it is time to separate the friends. Now that they're separated, it's time to work on one shoe at a time. Of course, we're going to start off with taping the rim sole. Is that the sole? I don't know. All I know is that shoes don't have a sole, because they're inanimate objects, not because they are empty inside. I mean, they are empty inside, but like, alright, I'ma shut up. But we're just taping off the edge of the shoe to protect it from paint, so I don't get paint on it, because I don't want paint on it. Now that that is all done, it's time to bring out the paint. I bought Angelus acrylic paint just for this project, and they look beautiful, majestic, and in cute little bottles. They're angelic. Bringing out the green and white, I am going to make a light green color. And after a few drops of green into the white, we have the color that I desire. Dipping the brush into my new fabulous paint, I'm going to paint the main part of the shoe. Now, like I said, it took me some time to figure out what I was going to paint on this shoe, and along with that, I didn't want to do the exact same thing on both shoes, because that would be boring for me, you, and me. It would be boring for me because I would have to paint the same thing twice. It'd be boring for you because you'd have to watch me do the same thing twice. And once again, it would be boring for me because I probably would have lost motivation to do the other shoe. And plus, it would be unique if the two shoes were different but also the same in one way or another. And after painting that, I realized I painted the shoe the wrong shade of green from my idea. So I mixed up a darker green and repainted the main part of the shoe this darker green, which didn't take too long. And now that we have the correct color, I began to sketch out the design for this shoe, which is a cactus. I guess I'd call her the customer, which is a weird thing to call her, because why would I call her a customer on a daily basis? But anyway, she said that she was very much an Arizona girl. I live in Arizona, by the way. And liked succulents and cacti, the sunsets, etc. So I decided to paint 2 different cacti on her shoes. If you haven't guessed it yet, this is a prickly pear cactus, which is probably one of my favorite cacti because they just look cool. But I'm also pretty sure this is the cactus Sokka got Woozy on. After blocking out the prickly pear, I started on the shading of the cactus, so it didn't look as cartoonish and more realistic, but also not too realistic. This was probably my favorite part of painting these shoes, the reason being it was just so relaxing to sit and paint these shoes. It was just enjoyable to sit and create something, especially in a chair that doesn't kill your rear end or back when you sit in it for a long period of time. Alright, so like I said, this is a commission, therefore I can paint something for you. The cost will vary depending on what you want me to do, but I would love to do commission work for you. Just contact me through my Instagram at CassieBerriganYT and we can figure something out. More information in the description. Going back to the shoes, I am using a tiny brush to do some detailing on the cactus, such as shading and sort of line art on the edges to help the cactus stand out more on the shoe. The dark green I am using is coming straight from the bottle, which is something that doesn't usually happen because I don't usually like the colors given to me straight from the bottle, but this one worked out for me. And now for some reason the camera quality is deceased. Wait, I just realized something. It might be because I touched the camera lens. Dang it. Well, let's try to ignore that as we add the little fruit flower things onto the cactus with the pink and the red. I used the red to add some shading to the pink of the flowers. To finish up the cactus, I added the spines, which really made everything look much better. But then again, that is what a cactus is supposed to look like. Using that same pink and red, I painted the edge rim thing on the shoe to tie in the colors on the whole shoe. I mixed in the red on the ends of the rim thing, then blended it into the pink. Doing some touch-ups. And moving to the back of the shoe where I started to paint some mountains and a sunset. But since this is very awkward to film, let us transition. Transition over, sunset is done. In order to make the shoe look cohesive, I used the yellow on the last blank part of the shoe, but quickly realized that it was way too bright for what I wanted. So I created a lighter version and then failed to stay properly in frame, thanks for me not paying attention. Skipping that, I guess, because the rest of the footage I'm not in frame. Doing a few touch-ups around the shoe, and voila! 'Tis complete with sunset, cactus, 2 shades of green, and yellow. Now we have to paint the other one, an entirely new shoe with a different design so we're not boring. Taping that with a transition. Hey look! Now it's taped. We can jump right in with the lighter shade of green on the main part of the shoe, covering up all the dirt and stains with the vibrant green. On the side section, I painted it with the darker shade of green. You see what I'm doing here? The other shoe used the darker green as the main part and the lighter on the side, while this one is using the lighter as the main and the darker on the side. Anyway, we are starting to block out the saguaro cactus that is present on this shoe with the darker green. I also made the mistake of using a pen to sketch it out. But we quickly move on to the shading of the cactus just as we did with the other shoe. And once again, this was very relaxing and enjoyable to do, and surprisingly gave me no troubles, which means something was gonna happen. It wasn't really a big deal, but it annoyed the crap out of me. You know how I said I used a pen to sketch out the cactus? Well, my white gel pen wasn't working, so I used a dark green pen, which ended up like soaking into the shoe, and I had to cover it with many layers of paint to finally get rid of it. All is good now, but it was annoying at the moment. I brought out the detail brush and dark green paint and began to sort of outline the saguaro just as we did with the prickly, continuing the shading. After that was done, I took the dark green and drew in the lines in the saguaro cactus very messily because I didn't want it to be perfect because, nature is not perfect. But I do need a reference because this was not looking quite right to me. Now that I have a reference, the cactus is starting to look more like a cactus than a weird green thing with arms and lines. To make it not perfect, I took the green and covered over some of the lines on the cactus, which made it look much better. Finally, I'm adding the spines to the lines of the cactus. That rhymed. I added the flowers to the cactus the same way I did to the prickly pear, and I used the same colors of the flowers for the rim thing on the shoe, again to match the other shoe. The shoes are different, but the same. And since you've already seen this, we are going to move on. Now it is time to do the sunset part of the shoe, so cue the crappy transition. Beautiful. And now it is time for the final part of this shoe, which is painting the yellow onto the remaining section of the shoe. I probably should have learned my shoe anatomy before doing a voiceover for this video, but oh well. Touch up transition, and here we are. Bringing the two back together again in a moment of happiness. Sorry to interrupt that happy moment, but we're taking off the tape now. Yay, we're almost done with them. Ah, they look so beautiful! Now it is time to cover them in a nice layer of clear coat to protect the paint, especially since these are shoes and are going to be worn often. And they are complete. I am absolutely in love with these, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. And by the way, the customer was very happy with them. From these old nasty white Vans to these unique and original cactus shoes. I really hope you enjoyed this video because I had tons of fun making it. I thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantabulous rest of your day. Bye!